In the heart of the dilapidated home, Ethan stood, staring at the family portrait on the mantle. His mother's smile seemed to hold the fragile threads of their past happiness. He felt the chill of the room seep into his bones, a stark contrast to the warmth that once filled the space. Thomas, his father, sat in the corner, a specter of the man he used to be, his eyes hollow and lost.
"Dad, we need to talk,"
Ethan ventured, breaking the oppressive silence. Thomas didn't look up, his focus fixed on the swirling patterns of his coffee.
"There's nothing to say, Ethan,"
he muttered, his voice laced with bitterness. Ethan clenched his fists, frustration bubbling beneath the surface.
"It's been months. Ignoring each other won't bring her back,"
he insisted, his voice rising with each word. But Thomas remained unmoved, trapped in his grief. Ethan hesitated at the threshold, memories flooding back. As he sifted through drawers, a forgotten letter slipped from a journal, its edges yellowed with age. The words inside were a revelation, secrets his mother had kept hidden.
"Dad needs to see this,"
he whispered to himself, heart pounding with a mix of dread and hope. Ethan handed the letter to Thomas, watching his father's expression shift from confusion to disbelief.
"Why didn't she tell us?"
Thomas breathed, his voice cracking. Ethan watched, a flicker of understanding passing between them.
"Maybe she thought it would protect us,"
he replied softly, a tentative bridge forming in the chasm of their relationship. Thomas sat beside Ethan, the letter clutched in his hands.
"I'm sorry, son,"
he said, his voice heavy with regret. Ethan nodded, feeling the weight of unspoken words lift.
"We both lost her. We need each other more than ever,"
he replied, a small smile tugging at his lips. The silence that followed was comfortable, a sign that healing had begun. Ethan and Thomas stood side by side watching the sunrise. The past lingered, but its grip on them had loosened.
"Let's start anew,"
Thomas suggested, his voice filled with cautious optimism.
"Together,"
Ethan agreed, feeling the warmth of his father's presence for the first time in months. As the sun climbed higher, they turned away from the shadows, ready to face the future.